just by talk. So people make we talk. Hey.
Morning. Welcome to Make We Talk here on Roots 96.1 FM and also on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. This morning we're going to speak about, is there a turmoil within the People's National Party? 3 councillors has resigned. What is going on? As they get momentum in the polls, they go 3 foot backwards or 3 step backwards. We need to find out if the People's National Party is going down Spurtree Hill and have no return of returning. This morning, I'm going to have with me in studio the producer of the Make We Talk program, Owen Brown, my good friend Luke George, and senior journalist for Roots 96.1 FM, Dudley Thompson. I'm being told that we're going to be joined by Mr. Wilfred Radigan soon. But in the meantime, there is so many things going on in Jamaica. And I'm trying to figure out if the government of Jamaica don't realize what is going on. We got up this morning to hear the Observer is saying that July 18th, from July 1 to July 8, 2023, according to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, 45 people were murdered. And yet, the same Jamaica Constabulary Force is saying to the people of Jamaica that crime is going down. And I want to know is what statistics are they using? Are they cooking the numbers? Is the Minister of National Security along with the Commissioner of Police telling the truth about Jamaica's murder figures? Those are the questions that we need to ask. And for far too long we sit down in this country and allow these people of the vum vavant, the vum vavin, tell us what is, or tell us what to do, and we do nothing about it. Now Jamaica is at a crossroad where we do not know if the Jamaica Labour Party will run this country for the next 18 years. Because from Michael Manley dead, the PNP dead with Michael Manley. They are so power hungry. The 3 councillors in Western Westmoreland says that they don't want Ian Hales. And the people of Western Westmoreland are saying the same thing. You see? For far too long, political parties believe that they must push people into a constituency. Push a Jeffrey Tavares in West Kingston and believe that the people of West Kingston need a Jeffrey Tavares to be the representative. If the people of Western Westmoreland do not want Mr. Hales, why is the hierarchy of the People's National Party pushing the goodly gentleman down on the people? Now the People's National Party was gaining traction in the polls. And now yesterday, breaking news on the Make We Talk program, breaking news on Roots 96.1 FM, 3 councillors has resigned. And one of the reasons why they resigned, they said that the General Secretary, Dayton Campbell, is Mr. Bull Duppy and Duppy Conqueror. Now, if you're running up last night, I hear Dan Anderson said something, you know. if you're running a business, you must run the business and have good promotion in the business. The People's National Party, if they don't, if the People's National Party do not get their act together, then may God Almighty help Jamaica. Now, let me make something clear to everybody this evening, or this afternoon, this morning. This afternoon where I am, this morning in Jamaica. Let me make something clear. I am not a member of any political party. So don't label me as a labor writer or as a comrade. I am a Jamaican. I came to that rock by labor pain, not by aeroplane or party pain. Good morning, Mr. Brown. Are you in studio with us and you and Dudley? Owen?
Are you hearing me? Good morning.
Yes, but what happened? We can't see you.
Oh, Dwight, turn on the camera for me, please.
The people I want to see you, Mr. Brown.
On the crew.
Yeah, because we want to know your views on the People's National Party.
Yes.
There you are. Boy, you have one labor right color this morning. Man, not believe it's labor right in the Brown.
Oh my gosh.
Owen, what is your views on what is going on with the People's National Party?
The thing is, I've always said that if it is that the party is not able to settle all the grievances within the party, the infight, if they can't settle it, despite the polls, there would be a challenge to win the election, because they have issues in not just Western Westmoreland, but they have issues in St. Catherine, they have issues in St. Anne, they had issues in other areas that they're trying to select, the persons. But these resignation yesterday, right, is a wake up call to some extent, right? Because one of the councillors said during the press conference that guess what, more is coming. More resignations are coming based on what they're getting information on the ground, based on how persons are reacting to how the party hierarchy is not accepting their cry. They're saying, guess what, all right, the things that we're here and we just here, we have a voice. And so they're saying this is their stance of saying, guess what, you're not listening to it, so we're not really associated, so we're going to be independent. And they're saying that more persons will actually be leaving as coach. So I don't know how they're gonna win this one.
I have with me joining us this morning also Mr. Brown,
yes.
Luke George Cooke, human rights activist. Luke, welcome to the Mental Talk program.
Let's up, sir.
Morning, Mr. Brown. Morning, Mr. Tavares. Mr. Tavares, I don't want you to lose any listenership here. I'm becoming too bored, and that my points are not sailing. They're not excited. But I'd like to say
Let me make something clear. There is many talk shows and talk shops and money grabbing shops on both YouTube and other mediums. So who don't want to listen to me, so be it. Who want to labor me as a labor right, so be it. Let us talk about the problem that's facing this country. Mr. Cooke, do you believe that the Labour Party will run this country for the next 18 years? Because Turmoil in a pain,
look, one man, one vote, same man, same vote. It is unfortunate for the PMP that the councillors, and I listen to them, and it is a telling time in Jamaica in terms of how leaders lead and what they are not prepared to listen to. Because in one of the gentlemen's presentation, they said this is not a new problem, it is a problem that is ongoing. But they felt that Mr. Golding had to pontificate to those who have been there before. And so he's not listening to the people who said that their interest would be better served if they have another candidate. It's unfortunate for a forward-thinking leader to think that he should have the deciding decision against the will of the people, because if these councillors are saying, listen man, this person, but what would to see these gentlemen?
I am losing Luke. I am losing you, Luke. I have in studio now with me Dudley Thompson, senior journalist. Dudley, welcome to the program. We're losing Luke George.
Yes, thanks, Jeffrey Tavares, and good morning to listeners both here and overseas, and the viewers as well.
Mm-hmm. Luke, Dudley, sorry, we have lost Luke George. Dudley,
yes.
What is your views on what is going on within the People's National Party? They gain momentum and they step 3 foot backward.
No, the PNP is what they call self-destructing than their own selves. And based on the recent polls, they have cut into the lead of the ruling GLP, but their internal wranglings is now proven to be their biggest detractor right now, because as you can see now, despite they having their into the runoffs for the candidacy for the both election, general and party council elections, when they select certain councillors or MP for seats, it's not being supported by the masses in the party. And we're seeing Ian Hills now. Actually, 4. Is it 3 councillors or 4? Actually, 4 councillors.
It should be 4, but 3 of them have been yesterday. It should be 4, but 3 of them were
4 councillors will be going based on one candidate, and that's not a good sign for the PNP. The PNP cannot settle their internal issues will affect them going forward when they call election, both general and the parish council. They need to settle their internal things first before they can come put
Jeffrey,
to the public.
Before you say anything, I'm going to play part of what one of the Councillor James said yesterday during the press conference.
The evaluation and the conclusion, and I say so without ambiguity or any apology, that based on our assessment as it relates to management from the secretariat level in the People's National Party, it is fair and easy to say that the single most destructive element in the People's National Party today is the General Secretary, Dayton Campbell.
No, that's a strong statement.
And you know, without any apology, and let me say this: Luke George will be aware of it. I don't blame the 3 councillors to say it, you know. I believe that the PNP is being wrecked by Dayton Campbell. And these are my views, are the views of Root 96.1 FM, or the producers of Make We Talk. This is Jeffrey Tavares' views. Dayton Campbell, Dr. Dayton Campbell, need to step down as General Secretary of the People's National Party.
It's not going anywhere.
You see?
But again, you know, Jeffrey,
go ahead,
as I said, that it would be interesting to see these 3 men run as independent and win, because it would send a strong message that when the parties are not responding to the wish and the will of the people, they will take their vote. They don't not necessarily go and go to the Jamaica Labour Party, but they'll support the people who they believe in. And that would help other persons who are interested to run for public office to probably run as independents. And once this start to happen, then the 2 diatribe would realize that their time is winding up, because people are frustrated. Be it as it may that the 3 are already member of the PNP, but it seems as if that they feel strong enough to go out there and put up themselves as independent, to get the leadership of the People's National Party to understand. What you will not see is people like Dayton Campbell and Ian Hills leaving the People's National Party, putting the party above their own personal self, to ensure that the party at this point, when it just starts to get some momentum, continue to ride out that momentum by making those necessary changes. Interestingly, Mark Golden says that the Constitution for the PNP has changed, and that the president now will serve a term limit of 2 years. What should have happened is that he should have also go further to say that members of parliament must serve a term limit, and if they go up before the electorate and they were unsuccessful, they should step aside and
Yeah.
allow other person aspiring for the position, because it would give him the freedom to have probably not have to contend with this issue. But if Dayton is listening and Ian is listening, and they really love the party, I mean, they can be brought back in the Senate and serve in a ministerial role, or be given some office to head up. But when you have questions against the genset, like when Karen Cross had put out that damning letter against Dayton Campbell, accusing him of all sort of abuse, that was the time for
We held
when
on.
when you should have looked at it and said, if people in your own political party can be putting out something like that, Jeffrey, you need to ask yourself the question if you really need to continue your career, because no matter what happened, you never really give an explanation or to say that this was not so. You got support from the members
But hold
inside.
on there for me now, Luke George.
I like your grand piano though.
Yes,
In your background.
I just bought a mansion in Beverly Hills,
Oh my God.
Oh, we're all booking our tickets. Your prosperity is inspired to the rest of
Yes,
us.
the Labour Party prosperity is on me.
Oh my God.
I don't know if it's prosperity anymore, because it seems like poverty. Because right around the length and breadth of Jamaica, people are finding it
Hold on there for me, Luke, and Owen.
So, me not going to take on that, Jeffrey.
Listen, Dudley Thompson, Dudley.
Yes, Jeffrey.
You and I have our little wrangling and tangle when it come on to the politics of Jamaica.
Yes.
But what I realize with you have some things from Wappy Kill Philip way before Owen born. Yes. And when you dig deep in stuff, you come up with some very good ideas, some very good things. When Michael Manley was in charge of the People's National Party, have you ever seen such wrangle and tangle going on?
Well, no, because the thing is, the PNP hierarchy to a point was behind Michael Manley. A matter of fact, when Michael Manley lost election in 1980, he opted to resign. And he was told, no, you can't resign. He opted to resign after 1980. We lost the Sierra by an embarrassing margin. I think about 52-8. Was that the biggest landslide in Jamaica's history? And he said, no, he can't resign. And the party hierarchy stood with Michael Manley despite that massive defeat. And he came back 9 years later and beat Sierra by an equal big margin for the 51-9. And in those days, the turnout was big. When Michael Manley lost in 1980, the turnout was 80% turnout when he lost. The entire country is that big swing. Is that like now when the turnout is below 40%? And the uncommitted is getting bigger and bigger. As I said, but what happened now, what's in the last poll now? Those who were in the uncommitted like 6 months ago are now turning to the PNP. So the JLP is losing.
Owen, this a young man who grew up in St. Mary, who
Jeffrey? Seems as if we're losing him. So I grew up in St. Mary. So I would understand the demography and how it is, with the politics. And I grew up seeing a particular party most of my years, ruling our constituency. And then since the 2016 election, there was a shift in that governance or that hold. That was also some kind of surprise, because to some extent, our constituency was a stronghold to some extent, or a safe seat, for a particular party. And then after the 2016, there was a shift. So I think, a lot of constituencies are like that. Even Westmoreland, where nobody would even think that the Jamaica Labour Party would be there, in Westmoreland, because all
But remember,
PNP. So I think there's a kind of shift. There was a shift since then, and I think probably now there's some level of complacency. So we're not sure exactly what will happen.
But remember, Owen and Dudley and Lou. And I know Dudley and Owen remember this. Election night of 2016 or 2020, I think. Was it that night? When I said to Dudley and Owen that the People's National Party will not win Central Manchester and Western Westmoreland is going to the Labour Party. And Dudley said to me, so no, man. Central Manchester is a safe seat. And look, George.
No, but look, there is no safe seat. Well, there are few safe seats. There are few safe seats. But yeah, Mark Golden constituency, Tivoli Garden,
and Dr. Brownberg.
Right, and Dr. Angela. Well, that's not safe.
Okay, all right. I am happy to have somebody come in.
That is not safe because the people. Yeah, no, hold on then. The people, to the displeasure of the people, the councillor who was there, who was devoted to the party leader, Portia Simpson Miller, was given the assurance that once Miss Miller demits office, the councillor would have taken place. The PMP once again, in trying to place Dr. Brownberg, put her there, and there has been a rift. There is still a rift going on today, but what happened is that the hierarchy of the party and the love for the party by the people, but people there are dissatisfied with Ms. Brownberg, and it is our hope that the PMP will reach a level where they can get everybody to be in agreement, and this is when you have to look at what you have in terms of the message, who you have as the leader, and what is important to the party. Is it that you have to have people holding constituency, or they could be useful to ensuring that whatever comes out in the manifesto is actually they're able to deliver on the promise by putting some people in some strategic position and ensuring that the young people who are looking on are not so disenfranchised by the idea of saying one of the two party, as what is coming out in the Dan Anderson poll, is not full. They're the one on the same. So you need strategic people like Ms. Brownberg, probably in the Senate and speaking as the Minister of Education, because no doubt she's a very bright woman and have a contribution. But are we going to see people stepping back because now that you are gaining the traction, how is it that they're going to ride out? But the problem is, I don't think they are listening. And again, it is unfortunate this comes out just as the PMP are getting the traction that they're getting, just as people are waiting to hear what Mark Golden have to say. I had a lady, an elderly lady speaking to me, and she said, boy, Mr. Cooke, Mr. Golden never, him did sound slow, like him was that, him had a retardation, but me don't know what I'm doing them last days. Yeah. It look like since Dan and the support come out, somebody call him and give him a coach, and him make sense now, Mr. Cooke, if him ride that wave here. But it's more than that. My Mr. Golden know that I have the greatest respect for him. I have the greatest respect for Andrew, because I remember working as a junior staff when he was at Child's Welfare. I was hoping that he would have done more for an organization that he works. Mr. Holness will kill you with ideas, but when it comes to deliverables and being truthful to what he says. It's difficult to keep him there. But the truth of the matter, I would love to see these 3 independent candidates run in Westmoreland and win, because it's going to set a big paradigm shift, Jeffrey Tavares. Even you have a chance to come and run as an independent, Jeffrey.
You putting me up, and I don't want to be set up.
No, but what is the problem?
Hold on there, Luke.
Yeah.
Hold on there. Let me say this to Owen and Dudley, and I want the views on it. If the 3 candidates, the 3 councillors in Western Westmoreland, should run as independent and win, what do you think would happen to the People's National Party, Dudley?
Well, the last time I think it was in something in Manchester about some years ago. The last time a PNP overlooked a candidate from the area. I think it was at Mortician, the area. He ran as independent and he won the seat, but he lasted 1 term. But if Trelawney, I think it was Trelawney. Yeah, Trelawney. Yeah. But the thing is, if they run as independent and win, it won't be anything new, because if we go back in the past, the distant past, independent were winning long before PNP and JP.
Yeah, but no, I understand what you're saying.
I'm saying no, but it would mean that Jamaicans are more going for personality than the party, because if we need this person to represent us, and the party say no, well, the persons in the era want this person, not really the party.
Yeah, I think it would be also a shift of how it is that the mayorship and all of that is also set up in the parish. According to this report, it says the resignations yesterday, it leaves 5 PNP councillors in the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, 1 more than the JLP with 4. And so with this, if it is that, as the councillor Councillor Mackenzie said about more resignations on the horizon, if it is that there are less PNP councillors, then that means there'll be a shift in power, shift in how it is that the mayorship and all of that will be happening in the parish. So it would be interesting to see how that works, and if it is that it will bear any more fruit or not.
But if this goes to a by-election and these 3 gentlemen run as independents and win, from what they're saying is that they were anticipating that the mayor would be coming along with them. But if him don't come with them, he knows that they share their deep sentiments. Right. Now, if they win as independent...
Luke, hold that point, Luke. Hold that point. We're going to make some money in Route 96.1 FM. It's now 11:30, 12:30. Wherever listening from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. This is Make We Talk on Route 96.1 FM on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend.
Do you need graphic design services? Or maybe you need branding for your business? How about multimedia production services? Contact Browns Media and Graphics at 876-877-1870. Browns Media and Graphics, developing your ideas, creating your style.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Do you want to talk about what's happening in your community or share your thoughts on national issues? Then tune in to Make We Talk Tuesdays with yours truly, Jeffrey Tavares. This and every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Join the conversation by calling 876-372-8446 or 876-225-9478 on YouTube at Roots FM Jamaica and Facebook at Roots FM JA. That's Make We Talk this and every Tuesday on Roots 96.1 FM, the voice of the inner city.
Do you need graphic design services? Or maybe you need branding for your business? How about multimedia production services? Contact Browns Media and Graphics at 876-877-1870. Browns Media and Graphics, developing your ideas, creating your style.
The show is brought to you by the legendary Backyard Magazine. Know your roots.
Welcome back to Make We Talk on Roots 96.1 FM and the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. We're speaking about is the People's National Party in turmoil. My guest this morning or this afternoon is Luke George Cooke, human rights activist. Dudley Thompson, senior journalist, Roots 96.1 FM. Owen Brown, news coordinator. And the producer of this program, Make We Talk. Welcome back, gentlemen.
I don't think the others are here, Jeffrey.
Welcome back, Luke.
Yeah, welcome back. What? Go ahead, Jeffrey. I'm going to go ahead.
Luke, you're making a point before we end up taking the commercial break. Can you continue making a point, sir?
No, what? Okay. No, Jeffrey, you know what came to me in the break, and I just have to say it. I wonder if these three gentlemen are planning to start the new political party, but they're testing the water to see in this by-election if they run as independent, because look, the frustration that I heard from the gentlemen are deep. It's concerning because just as how we, the Jamaican people, feel that leadership don't listen to us and they don't make decisions in our best interest, I hear these gentlemen say that this is a long-standing problem. Now, this is why it's important that we should structure the Constitution in a way that it reflects that the people, once the people voices are not being listened to, that it should be that we have a step that we can now move to remove persons from office who are not acting in the best interest of the people, but more so in the best interest of the party. I think before the break.
But Luke, and I know you make the point, but the problem that the People's National Party councils are facing in Western Westmoreland is Ian Hayes and Dayton Campbell.
And others too. And as I said, the PNP has sort of created their own problem when everybody felt that they needed to become leader, when they forgot that by speaking badly about Portia Simpson Miller, that it would have had a backlash. And we have seen this sort of divisiveness since the advent of PJ Patterson, and it continues. And it goes to show that people are just there to ensure that their self-interests are served and not the interests of their constituents, because a true party that is mature and understand its responsibility to the people would know that going into an election and seeing it as with this sort of division is not going to help them. And hence they are going to cement for the Jamaica Labour Party 18 years in office. So if they feel that this is what they need to be doing at this time, it's just sad. And again, I want to think that there is sincerity in the gentlemen who have put themselves out there yesterday to say that, look, Mark, you're not listening. So and because you're not listening, the only other alternative we have is to go out there and run as independent. And it's Eggshell and Mark Golden Face, and I'm saying, Mark, strike the chord. You're not there because your favorite social media platform is Facebook. You're there to be liked by everybody. Take the tough decisions and do put the people of Jamaica. So if people identify people, I mean, when me hear them talk about the other gentleman's resume, and it's somebody that has the integrity, that is damning to Mr. Hale. Are these people saying that when we look by the integrity index, you're just so low that we can't deal with you? They talk about the gentleman's charisma. So, Mr. Hale, look, please listen to the people and
Dudley, I want you to come into this conversation here because you and I has have our little chit chat about politics in our country. You and I know that the western part of Jamaica is always a PNP stronghold.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going on within the People's National Party now, Dudley. Do you think if, bro God, call it Andrew. If Andrew call it tomorrow morning, the Prime Minister, does the People's National Party stand a chance, in your opinion, Dudley?
It depends.
Call it, Andrew, call it.
It depends on what happens on the day, because sometimes the polls will give you a sort of a snapshot of what could happen on election day. It all comes down to which party manages the day the better, including some years ago, when PNP lost elections, the last election last time, it was Dr. Carl Blight. He came out here and said why the PNP lost is because they stopped drop money in the big yard. That was his exact term. Drop money in the big yard, said by Carl Blight. So it comes out who can drop the most money on the day, win the election. So that's where it comes down to. Because in the past, people vote for love of party, but nowadays is what they can get. So it comes back to who can manage the process better on the day. When is this close? Like no, it's kind of close. Who manages the day better will get the victory. And it comes down to who can drop the most money. It comes down to. Not about love party like back in the days. When PNP at the GLP and by landslide and you have 80% turnout. We've not seen that again in the last 20 years. So it comes back to the party love is kind of diminishing now. It's what you can get.
But Owen, last night on another program, Dan Anderson listed a number of factors why people have given the PNP a slight edge. You would be interested to know that at number 2, people said that they don't think the party is any different. But what is going to be important to them going into this election? And I want to know if the local government is going to be tied in with the general, so that at least, because I don't think Brogard wants to call it, I don't think Brogard wants to call it just yet. After this,
hold on there, man. Based on what I am hearing, that Jeffrey shut him out. Continue, Yalu.
Right.
Call it, Andrew.
Right. But I don't think in this environment the Prime Minister would want to call it. I think that those who are strategically advising him would tell him that the time is not right and that he should not. Because part of this is that if the elections are going to be transactional as they are now, where the going price last year for a vote was 5,000. I hope that the people make a demand that it's 50,000. If it's 50,000, if that is if the Jamaican people are sensible, I hope that the people will ask for more money since it is so close, because this is when your payday comes. So your partner draw you need for us. But we need to say that, boy, if we continue this practice of taking the 5,000 but not voting on principle and policies, then we're going election have consequence, and we're going to get from this election I'm probably another JLP serving another term, because them said the party with the money is likely to buy the election out again. And I'm calling on the Jamaican people. Look, if you see that we're not getting what we deserve, we're not seeing that the institutions that out there are to be serving us in a real way, then you really need to stop selling your vote and start to put down your foot and start asking your members of parliament and your political representative to come up with better plans and hold them feet to the fire when they don't deliver on that. Somebody is suggesting that I need to do a deeper research into what the intent of the gentlemen in Westmoreland are. But all I need to say that as a Jamaican sitting here this morning, and I can speak for myself, I don't see the country going in the direction, and I can look at significant areas, the areas of health, the areas of education, the high cost of living, the high cost that we pay for electricity. Security is a major issue to us. We need to look at the Nigel Clark saying to us as a people, but we're a small country, but we did well. We rebounds after COVID-19. We are financially viable, but who have this money? Because it seems to be the few and not the many. And it's time that we have a government that reflects that they do care about the will and the wishes of the Jamaican people. So I don't know. Me really hope
I
that we
hear.
grow up. Me really
Look,
hope, but if we not go and be transactional about it, at least ask them for 100,000 for no vote.
I heard.
Look here now. There's also another part to it too, though. People don't understand about this practice of not legal to buy vote, but the other parties, personnel are being paid not to vote. That's the last turnout was 43%. The last election turnout 43% because persons were paid not to vote. Because if you know that this particular person will support the party that you don't in favor, the payment says I said stay home. I know persons now are being paid not to vote. They took the money and just stay home.
No, Owen, people said it the last time, them yam them out. People are frustrated that they feel that they're being used every 5 years as a
Yeah.
commodity, and people are getting smarter. That is why I'm saying, if you put candidates in area that people like, one of the things with Jamaicans, they like relationship. They like people who talk to them straight. Them like to feel like say you understand their emotion and you validate them. And let me tell you something, them have a way of sniffing you out when you're fake and when you're real.
Yeah,
And
that's
if
true.
you put candidates in areas that people honestly believe will come and deliver, and I'll go as far as to say to any of the two parties, if you really put a job description and you give the people the power to hold their representative accountable to that job description, to go in there and look at the housing stock, to go in there and look at the education performance of their people, to create small businesses and to encourage people to run effective small businesses and start to change just some of the things, to work out a healthcare and a disaster plan in light of all that is happening in terms of the environment. You'd be
Look,
surprised to see how things can change, but that is not it. You vote for them and don't see them.
look.
Them only come back for you.
I like how you know I'm saying that a while ago, because I remember the late Russell Hammond, who ran for that same seat within the Labour Party. I think yes, it was Western Westmoreland, Eastern Westmoreland. I don't remember what it was though. But I remember back in the days, you have a Russell Hammonds who know everybody. He will sit down and he will on Saturdays or whatever time it is. When he leaves his Hammond space in Sablamar and come into Negril, he'll go from yard to yard just saying hello, how you doing? Everything all right? Now these politicians of the upper sons of Sandandra, of the Vumvavan, the Vumvavi, no yam chicken back, no roast breadfruit, no a tin a dirty girl, tin mackerel, Jeffrey behave yourself. They don't eat those things. So they're not like the Michael Manley and the Russell Hammonds and the late Costas of Westmoreland, who was member of parliament for Eastern Westmoreland, the Honorable Jim Thompson, who will sit down with the people and name a thing a dirty girl and some roast breadfruit and curry chicken back and sit down and chat with them. These people nowadays, they're driving a Range Rover and they stand up. You can't touch them because they don't want to be dirty. Your hand is too filthy to touch them. That's what is going on in the country, and we must call a spade a spade. The time has come for us in this country to stand up to these two political parties, these two gangs that is running this country to a wreck. No better barrel, no better herring. And the time is now for us to rally around a single cause and a single purpose and say to Mark Golding and Andrew Holness, you must shape up or ship out. The two gangs, no better barrel, no better herring. Ian Hales and the people that don't want in Western Westmoreland, come out and leave the people alone.
But you must also said you saw the same Ian Hales being booted out of Hanover. So if it obviously that people have a problem with me. But the challenge is, Jeffrey, you have some gods that have they have just descended upon us and them not leaving. Because I'm saying, if I look George, I'm a part of anything, and people say, look here, we don't have any confidence in your leadership. And I've had situations where I've had to demit office because me and people have difference in views. And when me look at the bigger picture, me don't want to make the organization disintegrate. And me don't want no two camp, because I have to look at the bigger picture as the leader. We don't have them sort of people that now running in offices, in public office. Them believes that them for stay there, Jeffrey. I'm amazed that people don't even go to parliament anymore. They're sick and they have not diminished the parliament.
Mike Henry getting paid. Yeah, Dr. Peter Phillips has not been to the parliament of Jamaica for how long? And yet he's getting paid. This is the nonsense we have in this country. And we must sit down and accept it while KPH, cockroach and people in KPH, they need beds and they can't get it. And while Camilla Johnson Smith running for sex, Jeffrey behave herself, Secretary General, and using taxpayers' money. And we will sit down and say, okay, Master Golden, okay, Master Andrew Holiness. Huh? Yeah. Those are the people who we're talking about running this country for 2030 vision.
And one of the things that is frightening, Jeffrey, is that when Don Anderson said last night, the people between the ages of 15 and 17 who was taken in that survey they are registered just to get the ID but not to vote because they are disenfranchised by the political system that we have, is a telling story of what is going to happen, because what it means is that if the JLP were told that are voting a certain number per election on block, while you have seen a decrease in the number of PMP and that the PMP has not been able to get back that 158,000 consistent voters that used to vote, and that the voting is done between the age of that 35 cohort to 50. We need to get to the youths in Jamaica and said, okay, we know the challenge that you believe that no better head, no better barrel, but to not exercise your vote and then to use your voices in advocacy to ensure that policies are designed in such a way that is going to improve on the quality of the of life of the Jamaican people. It is going to it has a serious implication on you and that because you're not exercising your right to vote, and then ensuring that you keep people accountable to what they say, and that you are part of the decision making, then you have to realize that you're going to keep on getting what you're getting. So that group of people, we need to engage them, because more and more, Jeffrey, if you look at the profile of the people that are carrying out the most heinous crimes in Jamaica right now, them fall between 15 to 18.
Yes.
You know, because they are frustrated with the existing structure.
Right. We don't have enough time. Leave on Rosanna 6.1 FM. Dudley Thompson.
Yes,
Talk about things, man. You're quiet. Talk about this. What you think should happen to the two gangs, the two political gangs in the parliament? Who they're calling? Hold on, Dudley. They're calling for reparation. They're calling for constitutional reform. They're calling for the King of England to apologize for slavery. While them have us in slavery in this country, while they're the one who has created some atrocities on the people of this country. The burning of the Eventide home. Huh? How much people dead in Tivoli Garden? And nothing comes out of those atrocities they give to us?
But I keep on saying that Jamaica, two political parties that hold the country captive. It's like the two of them Jamaicans right now are fed up with the two parties, but they have no choice. Because the third parties don't make a sense in Jamaica right now. So it's like you have two evil. Let me choose one of the two evil, either PNP or JLP. So and I don't like London, where England recently, where Jamaica voted in the third party in England some years ago. But not seeing Jamaican giving a third party a chance. And again, I said earlier, the third parties are weak. So I don't know if we have a choice. Everybody can communicate.
Give me 2 minutes wrap up. We got to run.
Well, third party have not come out with anything different from what the other two say. In fact, you don't even hear what them have to say. But look here. I'd like to see a system where, like in the United States, where a man can go into the voting station, Jeffrey, and write in the name of a man that them believe should run. Because in communities, you have people that have served communities credible, and they would make excellent public representation for the people, because that's what they do outside of their daily routine. They do that. They serve their community, and those people, we need to find them and put them on this program on Jeffrey. I say Jeffrey advertise for a community profile. We need to advertise people in Jamaica that are doing it. But for now, as I said to Jeffrey, we need to come up with policy paper that we can speak to the powers that be, that we can create policy. The people can create policy, because while we're here talking, it is one man, one vote. People have to look deep with themselves and ask, if we are being underserved, it is time for us to start working in various groups, both locally and internationally, to come up with policy paper, and that we can advise people as to what is possible, and then start pushing those policy paper so that whoever forms the government will have to reconcile with us. When we're a major lobby group, government will listen. Like how
we gotta go.
People. Yeah, man.
Thank you very much, Luke George Cooke, human rights activist. Dudley Thompson, senior journalist, Roots 96.1 FM. Owen Brown, producer of the Make We Talk program. On the other side, at 1 o'clock US time, that's 12 o'clock Jamaica time, we'll be having Interpol ambassador to South Africa, Andy Mashilo. We're going to speak about human trafficking within the Caribbean and America. So join us on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel at 12 o'clock Jamaica time, 1 o'clock US time. Until you hear my voice again, I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying God bless you, and may God bless Jamaica land we love. And stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for the space of rock we have. We came to this country by labor plane, not by aeroplane. Have a good evening, everyone.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make